Childhood. Childhood is an amazing time in your life. The world is entirely new to you, and you can't wait to discover all it has to offer. It's the perfect time for your imagination to run wild. As you get older, you get a good understanding of your environment, the people around you, who you are, and your emotions. All that is a part of life. As a kid, you have the need to feel different than everyone else. You want to stand out, you want to escape from reality. Chuunibyou is an anime based entirely off your childhood fantasies. Animated by Kyoto Animation, Chuunibyou is one of my favorite anime of all time. From the wonderful host of characters to the beautiful quiet moments, to the jaw-droppingly gorgeous art. Chuunibyou is an anime that definitely deserves to be revered as one of the best. I know I said this was going to be a video in my top 5 anime shows of the decade, but I couldn't help myself. I recently rewatched the entire series, and I think a 3-part video series is the best way to show my appreciation. While these videos are not going to be reviews per se, I'm going to be looking at this anime with a critical eye while focusing on analyzing. With that out of the way, let's jump right into Chuunibyou is a beautiful anime about love, growing up, and finding meaning in life. This video is focusing on Season 1 and its main theme, growing up. From here on out, there are zero restraints on spoilers. You've been warned. Togashi Yuta is a first year in high school who hopes to escape his embarrassing childhood fantasies. Yuta was a Chuunibyou, someone who thinks they're special and has powers and such. His plan for the perfectly normal high school life is quickly diffused when Takanashi Rika forces her way into his life. The anime follows Yuta and Rika throughout the school year and their relationship. Along the way, we'll get to meet other characters like Nibutani, who realize the same plan as Yuta, Kumin, a sleepy upperclassman, and Dekomori, a third year in middle school, is also Rika's servant. Looks like you've forgotten about Ishiki, much like Season 2 of the anime. He's Yuta's only male friend in the show. They're all a part of the Far Eastern Magical Napping Society, the school club Rika creates. Season 1 is far more comedic in tone than Season 2, with the love plot between Yuta and Rika subtly growing in the background. Their interest in each other is finally realized when Yuta saves Rika from falling off the roof of the school while they were preparing for the school festival. Then, it all comes crashing down when Rika's mom comes back into her life, which leaves Yuta to force Rika to break away from her Chuunibyou ways so life with her mother wouldn't be so strained. And that's where the themes of growing up come into play. On the surface, Rika is just a teenager who hasn't grown up yet. She runs around wearing an eye patch, screeching random magical sounding words like a child would when they're playing some imaginary game. Most people, like Yuta and Nibutani, would get over that phase before high school, but Rika can't seem to let it go. The reason for this is simple yet complex. Rika's father died when she was in 6th grade, but no one told her he wasn't going to make it. She didn't accept that her father had actually passed away, and refuses to embrace it. Chuunibyou is her way of keeping a barrier between her fantasy world that she wishes she lived in, and the real world where her father is truly gone. Throughout the anime, Rika keeps spouting what seems to be nonsense about needing to reach the unseen horizon. It's a rough translation, but I'm not calling it what the dub does. Fuck the dub. In actuality, the unseen horizon represents her dad, and needing to reach the unseen horizon really means she needs to say one last goodbye to her father before she can truly accept he's gone. Both her grandparents and her sister, Toka, want her to give up what they think is her being childish. Yuta, by the end of the series, realizes Rika being a Chuunibyou is not her refusing to grow up, but her way of being mature. This section could easily be about how fucking gorgeous this anime is, but that's not the beauty I'm speaking of. To Rika, Chuunibyou is more than a kid's imagination giving its all one last time before they move on. It's her way of living. She is the absolute embodiment of a Chuunibyou. Don't worry, dear viewer, I shall tell you how she got like this. Shortly after her father died, Rika went to visit her sister, Toka, in her new apartment. I'm assuming you already know that Toka lives above Yuta and his family, so that's why I didn't write it earlier in the script. I'm stupid! This is during the height of Yuta being a Chuunibyou, and young Rika caught a glimpse of what she thought was the coolest thing being performed by the coolest person. This inspired her to become a Chuunibyou. It made her happy. It was the only thing that kept her going. It was her shield from the harsh reality of life. Chuunibyou to Yuta might be a phase in his life that he'd rather forget, but to Rika, it's her life. Chuunibyou let her grief over her father's passing in her own way, and let her meet Yuta and all their friends. It was the gateway to her happiness. It means so much more than its textbook definition, and that's what's so great about Chuunibyou. It allows you to grow up without losing who you are, because losing yourself might as well be death. To wrap it up, and not end on that super melodramatic note, you don't have to change what you love to grow up. You allow it to grow with you. That's why I love Audible. Man, another sponsor joke. I must be desperate.
お前はもう死んでいる。